Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta.
You got your hat for tomorrow, huh?
And David wants you.
Happy July 4th. Yeah, I've finally remembered this hat does not stay erect on its own. So Kim, at some point, is supposed.
Yeah, you got to give it some love.
Kim's gonna fluff it for you.
She's gonna get it all fluffed up for me, so it'll stay
nice
erect during the race. And I just lost one of my AirPods. So you guys talk.
What are you drinking, Ryan? You got PBR from your fancy Publix in Summerhill?
Yeah, but I got to tell you, man, it wasn't cold. So
just got
in my fridge, and I've been drinking cool-ish PBR for a while. It's cold now, I think.
Cool-ish PBR doesn't sound appetizing.
I mean, it wasn't great, Like I should be drunk by now, but I was slow. I was nursing them warmish beers.
You know how to get a beer cold in 60 seconds. You got a warm beer cold in 60 seconds, though, right?
Chug it.
That is not get it cold. No. You put it in some ice water. No. Put it in some ice water with a little bit of salt in the water, and just spin the beer for like 60 seconds inside of the ice water. You can just put it inside of like a. If you got
it's like ice cream.
Yeah,
beer ice cream.
What beer?
And you spin it for. You can take a beer straight off the shelf, not even the cooler shelf, just the regular rack, and put it in there, and just put it in the ice water with some salt in it, and just spin it for 60 seconds. You'll have an ice cold beer.
Well, I feel like I just leveled up.
Yeah, just think about it when you put your beer in your cooler. Like, on a game day, you put your beer in, you put your ice on it, you go to the stadium, which for you, Ryan, is like going, it's a longer walk than it is a drive for most people. But once you get there, you open up that PBR, and it's perfectly cold. Just that short little walk over. Same kind of concept.
I feel accomplished today. Thanks, David. You made us learn something.
When it comes to getting beer cold and making it more potable, I'm all for it.
All right.
That's good. Like I said, I feel like I leveled up.
There you go. All right, cool.
Not only do you listen to State of Atlanta for all of the Georgia State athletics news, but tips on drinking beers.
Cold beers at that.
Getting drunk fast as possible in the most efficient manner.
That reminds me of traveling over to London, drinking their lukewarm.
See, everyone, maybe I was just warned a little bit. I was warned too much about the beer. I did not notice the beer being super warm. Plus, it was also Guinness, which doesn't ever really get cold in the first place.
Depends on where you're
mine. Like, I could let a Guinness. I don't, but I could let a Guinness just hang out in the glass for a while, and it's still going to be yummy when I get back to it.
But they had like all the beer taps in both Ireland and London and Scotland. Like they had like this big, huge monstrosity of beer taps that were just like condensation of ice coldness on them. So I felt like the beer that
was the Budweiser one.
That was even the Guinness had it like that too, as I recall.
I think it's just some pubs do the traditional lukewarm / room temperature beer.
I think they serve each beer the way that beer is meant to be served. And some beers are meant to be cold, and some beers are meant to be a little
room temp,
warm, like room temperature-ish, probably a little cooler than that. But I bet they just respect it a lot more. Because if you notice, the other thing about it is whatever beer you get a glass that is that beer. They do not give you like a Guinness and a anything but a Guinness glass. They don't give you a Budweiser and anything but a Budweiser glass. Heineken glass.
And they don't have like nondescript glass. They don't have blank glasses. I was actually at one place, and the guy apologized to me. I forget what I was ordering. I think it was like a Stella or a Heineken or something like that. Like American European beer. And he just walked up to me, like profoundly apologized. Like, I just put the last glasses of those into the dishwasher. Is it okay if I give you it in a different glass? And I'm like,
sure.
Yeah, dude, man.
Will it drink?
I drink Tropicalia out of Bud Light glasses all the time in Atlanta, so I don't really care what it is, So, but yeah, they take their beer drinking seriously. I appreciate it.
There's a lot of care that goes into it,
and the perfect pour, and everything. So.
I know. I did not. I failed that. The Guinness perfect pour. I did not, but I drank mine and somebody else who did pour it perfectly. I drank their beer too. So
yeah, that's the secret. There's a lot of people that go on the Guinness tour, and they will they just do the perfect pour thing just to do it for the experience, but they're not beer drinkers, or they don't like Guinness, or there's something else wrong with them. And so if you just stand and hang out there, you'll just be able to get, because you only get one free beer when you go to that little Gravity Lounge or whatever it's called, Sky Lounge. But you go hang out at the little Perfect Pour place, and you'll get several drinks from people that will just pour it, and they're going to dump it.
Well, you just go hang out in the lounge too, because everyone who doesn't do the Perfect Pour gets a ticket, and it's just such a tourist destination. There's so many people there that don't drink, and it's just like,
so you get drunk.
And you sit at that lounge, and you look out over the skyline of Dublin, and you realize how filthy of a city Dublin is. It is a very ugly city. I loved it. One of my favorite places I've ever visited in my entire life, but it is not a pretty city to cast your eyes on.
That thing is probably like 10 stories up and is definitely like the highest point. It's not all city either.
Oh, if you think about it, if you're standing on the ground in Dublin and you look up and it's just crappy gray clouds, do you normally build something to get closer to those?
Probably not.
That's why their 10th floor lounge is called Gravity. They want to get down back on the ground, away from all the gray clouds and everything. So
what'll get us to the ground? Gravity.
Exactly.
I mean, you've now dropped 2 tips: 1, how to get your beer cold, and 2, how to get drunk at the Guinness factory in Dublin.
Yeah, it's that's really just to let you know before you get there, because everyone who's worth their salt in drinking just figures that out, right? You just show up and you're like, oh, I can just get drunk up here.
Tickets. I like it.
for the price of a tour. I don't need to go on the tour, y'all. It's cool. I know how they make beer.
Exactly.
I've seen one tour. I've seen them all. Like, let's go drink the beer.
That reminds me of like the old Georgia days, right? Where you had to go on the tour to get the tickets.
Oh,
they never deal.
Oh, I never experienced a brewery where you had to go on the tour to get the tickets first. Well, that's not true.
You had to purchase a tour.
Purchase the tour.
Yeah. I purchased the tour. Purchased the tour to get the tickets. But that was, oddly enough, the one tour that I was on where you had to complete the tour to get your tastings was when we were in Milwaukee and we went to the Coors Miller place. And so you could get, they gave you a same thing like Sweetwater did. It was 4 or 5 tickets, but it was not like a half glass or a 3/4 kind of glass the way that Sweetwater used to do it back in the day. It was little tiny tasters. Then you could pick whichever ones you wanted. And I'm like, I'm still going to pick a Miller Lite for a taster just to say that I tasted Miller Lite at their brewery. Just even though it was not, going to be the greatest beer you could have there. But.
That's awesome.
What was the greatest beer you could have there?
Miller Lite. Yeah.
Is there another beer there?
Yeah, Miller Lite.
No, I don't remember. Whatever. Those big brands, they have a zillion different drinks and stuff. So I don't know. I forget what else
up there.
Well, not by Coors Miller. No.
Did you tell them that they won an award?
I think they're aware. I think it's actually on the can. It's like asking a cigarette smoker if they know they're bad for you. They're like, hey, this package right here, I look at it every day. It says,
like, look, if you want people to do your tour, you should put the Pabst in there.
Yes, at a brewery that you don't actually make the beer at.
This isn't our beer, but it's really good beer. See, they won an award.
I won an award forever ago. We don't know. We don't know what the qualification was. Did we actually know how many beers showed up to that award show? Like, or is it just
but in 1893, America's Best in 1893.
So I have a barbecue buddies of mine.
Never again.
There's some barbecue buddies of mine from Wyoming. I met them at the World Championship in Memphis, and they had a sign that said voted Wyoming's best barbecue. And after a few days of hanging out drinking with the guys, he said, "Hey, you know how I got that sign?" I'm like, "How's that?" He goes, we were drinking one night at a bar and we said, "Hey, who's everyone's favorite barbecue in all of Wyoming?" He's like, the entire bar said mine was the best. So I think that means that Wyoming voted us the best.
It's that simple.
So that's how PBR got it.
I mean, Ryan went 10 people in a bar in Wyoming, and that's like half the state. So
at some point, Ryan's going to be privy to a time machine. He's going to go back in town to 1893 or whatever the hell you just said. He's going to vote it #1 just to justify himself and for his drinking of the beer.
1893, I had already forgotten. Good job.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
That is pretty solid.
Yeah, lots of people would go back and kill Hitler or whatever, but I would go back to vote for Pabst.
To make sure
PBR #1.
Vote Pabst. Not that you have to change anything. I just make sure it happens. Like,
you might get killed while you do it, but vote for it.
And then I want you to go back and actually try it back then and see if it tastes actually better back then than it does now.
I'm actually terrified now. If I ever did that, because butterfly effect might make Pabst like not good now or something. I don't know. It might be like an IPA, like Pabst IPA.
I'm not voting for you anymore.
No
Screw
thanks,
this.
I like beer.
All right, let's get on to some Georgia State. We are officially in the 2023-24 athletic calendar year. And with that, we don't have any games scheduled for the next 2 months. So I looked back last year, and there was some women's soccer and volleyball that were happening prior to football starting. But as of right now, we've got nothing scheduled on the slate through all of July and up until the football game on August 31st against the
great
URI
Rams.
I'm just chatting with the whole group.
I was trying to figure out what the mascot was. I didn't even know what it was. The Rams. There you go.
We're all looking forward to the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, whatever. It's the first game. I'm just excited about it being on a Thursday this year. I like the home openers on Thursdays because for selfish reasons, because it's Dragon Con. I get to do the Dragon Con thing. But if it wasn't for Dragon Con, I would hate it because we were talking about this. It feels like almost a wasted tailgate because, obviously we'll get down there early. The three of us will be down there and some of our comrades and everything, but you're not going to see other tailgates set up until like maybe 4 or 5. Yeah. And even then it's going to be sparse and you're heading into the game. What's a 7:30 kick?
7:30 kick, yeah.
But some of the new rules, I mean, for tailgating, I think will make it a little bit better.
7 kick.
Nothing's finalized yet, but from what the rumors I've been hearing, we won't have to break down our tailgates. They'll let us keep it up during the game so we can come back after the game and load everything up, which I think makes it a little bit better because, when we were doing our stuff like 45 minutes before game time, we're kind of just packing everything up and getting our cars and everything.
Well, so people be hanging out, and like still munching on food and stuff. And then when people were ready to break up, it was like time to go in, and we were still breaking apart our tailgate, which is fine. Really, I never really had a big problem with it, but that's just the way it was.
So really, that means you can come back outside and keep the party moving.
Yeah, I think that's again. I'm probably not supposed to be talking about this kind of stuff because nothing's finalized, and if it changes, then it really looks worse for me than it does for Georgia State. But I think that they want to keep the plaza area open for like an hour after kickoff.
Can they make the Georgia Avs stay closed for an hour and a half?
I think that would be part of it as well, and I think they want to do something with students to kind of keep like a post game DJ party or something like that going out on the plaza, the Victory Plaza stuff.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
I like those.
I don't know. That's just rumors that I've heard from other people. I don't know.
Well, those are ideas that we don't have normally. So
there's some other stuff.
I'll take it.
There's some other stuff on, and I want to have on some people from athletics as we get closer to the season when everything is finalized and can be discussed. We can talk about all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah. We can say goodbye to the 22-23 season, which was outside of baseball having some looking great. Obviously disappointment in football and basketball. Other sports. Beach volleyball did their thing as they are going to do.
It's the number one program, right? Beach volleyball. We need to put all our money into it.
Beach volleyball school. So
NIL, the full 9. Give them
exactly. Pay the ladies whatever they want.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny about baseball though, because like we really like comparatively like within the conference, we did not have a good season. But like we're all happy with it because like we showed up, like we tried. I mean, like not we just tried, like we showed up and we played good competitive games, and like that's what we're asking for, y'all. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Scrappy.
Right? Show signs of life. That's Georgia State's instead of light it blue or whatever. It's like show signs of life. That's all we're going for.
Georgia State sports showing signs of life. That should be our tagline.
Just a little more than showing up.
Exactly.
And that can apply for multiple things within Georgia State.
If showing up is 100%, we're asking for 101%. Show up and then just do a little
that
bit 1%. More.
What was that club called when we did that for the pack? Was it 10% increase or something?
It was like a 1% club. It wasn't even 10%.
Something like that.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like the 1% club, which I don't know why they got rid of that. Just
I don't either. It was such a smart thing they were doing. It's such an easy yes.
Well, this also goes back to when, and they're still kind of like this, where it's a subscription the way I look at it. I pay for my season tickets over the course of several months. I pay for my pack donation over the course of the entire year. Now they do have it set up where you can do football, basketball, and pack over a 12-month period, but you still have to renew it every year. And I'm like, AOL figured this out back in the 90s, auto renew, and people will forget they're paying for it all the time. And they told me they need that swipe. I'm like, what swipe? Everyone pays on their phone or like on the
You've
computer.
never swiped my card once.
Exactly. And but I'm like, just do it like that. And then, when they do sign up for it, that little checkbox, enroll in the 1% club where we take up your donation by 1% a year. And over the next 2 or 3 years, you don't notice it, but it actually has an impact on the donations to the university.
I was actually searching for PAC emails today, and I found it. It's called Panther Up, and it was 10%.
Was it 10%?
I think that's right.
But
I
still,
think that's what I was thinking of.
It's not that bad. The last time they did it was 2017, from what I can see. Like that's the last time I had an email on it for.
I don't know. 10%. I think that's a notable.
Well,
when most people's annually only increase their salary by 3% a year.
Hey, we got to outpace inflation.
But you have a 10% donation. Like I think a 1% club, just be a 1%er. Like everyone. They hate on 1%ers for being the super wealthy.
Well, they hate them because they ain't them.
Exactly. Heinous because they anus. But you do the 1% club and be a 1%er. Okay. Now you can be a 1%er.
Yeah, but David, we gotta outpace inflation. So 10% is be the minimum.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my
thing is for us,
my salary is outpacing inflation, so I can't help to stay with it at all.
Those low dollar donors, though, which when Panther Up was happening, I mean, I still kind of am, but like it's not a ton. Like 10% isn't even a ton of stuff, but it'll like level those guys up, which they're the ones that care more about like that little bit of increase anyway. Like big donors aren't going to be like 10%, okay,
like
and
whatever,
right?
Like, whatever. They're just donating whatever you ask for whatever it is you need.
Another 10% to someone donating 100,000. Them adding 10 grand on, not that big of a deal when you're already putting in 100,000. But do somebody doing 1,000 now, $100 more. That's right. That's
well, that guy, you're gonna have a one-on-one with them and be like, we need 10 more grand so that we can do something with the field or whatever, and they're gonna be like, okay, whatever, because rich people just do that kind of stuff.
We need to go back to David. You need to bring this up as the unofficial PAC president, non-president, to figure out why we're not doing Panther Up 10% anymore. It died in 2017. Why would you get rid of something that made more money?
It's definitely PAC board. Like,
so that was 2017. Because like,
yeah, it's
2017. If it was 2019 and it died in 2020, then I'd be like, oh, pandemic killed it. But if it was 2017, then
not saying it wasn't there in 2018,
I'm not
2019,
sure.
But it might not have been. So we'll see. Thanks, Kim.
My hat is coming to get fixed. Tim says thanks, babe.
Good fluffing.
Ooh. I just saw some last call material.
Yo.
Yeah,
we do not have that sort of thing on last call.
I said material.
That's the OnlyFans. Come on, guys.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
we don't have that yet.
We actually
do. To be our feed anyway.
I don't think it's published, but I did set up a State of Atlanta OnlyFans just to log into the site and see what was involved with it. So I don't know if you can go to it and see anything. I never put anything on
just
there.
Pictures of your feet.
But I was about to say,
our feet.
We should just have pictures of our feet on the State of Atlanta OnlyFans.
What if we start seeing money in the account? We're like, all right, more feet.
My wife just said no one wants to see my feet, and I agree. I have some crunchy, rock hard feet.
Hey, there's always someone out there.
That's it. There's always someone that wants it. I don't know. It's weird, but there is.
Yeah. I mean, and of all things to sell your body for, I mean, come on, feet. That's an easy one.
For me, yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying for a person who's doing it. All right, we've gotten way off topic here.
And you can hear all that and more on Last Call.
We'll talk more about it on Last Call.
We'll talk more about our feet.
So we were talking about donation upping, right? So I think athletics this year, they changed the minimum level for, what is it? What are those seats called? PAC seats? It's not $200 a ticket.
Or are we talking about football or basketball? Because they have different names for everything. Yeah, basketball.
Yeah, so I mean, they want to get more out of the people that are sitting on that side, because I think that side's pretty packed out, if I'm not mistaken. So they're probably trying to encourage people to make it closer to the premium seats, not the club seats, the premium seats that we're sitting in.
So premium are the ones that are behind the benches, and then pack
Behind
is
us.
where
We're sitting.
pack is the opposite. Wait, I got
Pack's
backwards.
cheaper. Yeah.
Pack's is cheaper. Oh, we're premium.
We're club.
Oh no, they got rid of the club name because they don't have a club.
Club to premium. Yeah.
But I'm whatever the one level down is, and I'm just across the aisle from you guys now.
Yeah, we could hold hands during the game if we wanted to. Actually,
I'm just gonna come sit by you guys, like I just did.
Put your hand out, Ryan.
Lower level.
Put your hand out, Ryan. We can hold hands right now on virtual. There you go. There we're holding hands. There you go.
Nope, that's wrong.
I did it too. I was like, dang it, he's over.
We both did it.
So I mean, it's interesting though, the ticket pricing. So now they're the same price per ticket, premium and pack. Obviously, premium requires that 1K donation overall for the year, but I think it's going to probably encourage people that are sitting on that pack side to upgrade. We'll see.
So so I was unaware of this. So the premium and the pack seating for basketball are the same price now. It's just that one requires that higher donation level to get onto the cushy seat side.
Yeah, and I think they're probably banking on a lot of the people that have premium also have club seats in football. God, club seats in football, right? So they're already at 500. So now you're saying, well, if you donate $500 more, you still pay the same ticket price. You get to sit in the premium seats.
But the ticket price is never the thing, right? I mean, the ticket price is like
the donation
negligible compared to the donation. And I mean, the way I put it to athletics when I brought it back down was I was like, I feel like I'm paying $500 for a slightly padded seat, and they're not even like that padded. They're not great. They're not much different. And they were like, yeah.
I'm gonna be curious to find out when we start seeing the first signs of things like breaking or problems with the stadium and how the convocation of the box, because I do agree those seats seem, while the place looks beautiful, it's awesome, they do seem a little, I mean, I'm a fat guy, that they're a little rinky dink on the seats or whatever. And back when I sat at the sports arena, when I had first row seats just behind the bench, I was the only person sitting the entire row of my section. The entire thing just collapsed on me during the middle of the game. Like when they
didn't lock it in,
when they extended the bleachers out, pulled them out or whatever. I guess they didn't fully extend the whole thing, so my seats just collapsed. And then as a consolation prize for me having to move one seat behind me because that row is also empty, they gave me like a Georgia State hat, and it was like a horrible push-up Panther hat that I think I wore. I think I maybe wore for a Throwback Thursday game or something. Yeah, it's horrible. But anyhow,
we should have a bonfire tailgate where everyone burns that logo.
If Georgia State would commit to giving away a Panther head only shirt to anybody who brought in Push-Up Panther, and a sweatshirt to anybody that brings in a blue and black Push-Up Panther logoed item, I would totally invest at least 30 to 45 minutes in planning an event. Yeah.
We'll never get rid of it. I don't know. Recruits, we should have someone on that can tell us how this works, why they keep using that logo over and over and over. I want to know why. How does it happen?
From what I was told, they gave him like a thumb drive or flash drive or something like that that's supposed to have all the logos and stuff, or at least a link to it, a thing or whatever. But it seems like what people do is just search Georgia State logo, and they pull in the Push-Up Panther with the grid board transparent background layer to it, and they post that on their whole thing. So
we need to petition that as nudity or something.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I say is, can we start reporting all the Push-Up Panther logos as indecent exposure? Or I mean, so honestly, you could do this. This is getting very on the edge of not being appropriate. But if we have under 18-year-old students that are posting pictures of this thing, we could say the exploitation of minors. So
we will get rid of Push-Up Panther one way or another.
Georgia State canceled. Ryan just logs off.
Ryan doesn't want to be part of this podcast anymore.
I cannot be associated with this anymore.
Ryan, you want to get rid of Push-Up Panther? Come on.
No, I do. I hate it a lot, so it's fine.
For a minute there, I was like, ooh,
you were worried. You were worried. I was just like, oh, it's my favorite. No, it's the whole the black one, black and blue one specifically is just so hard to see from like 5 feet away.
Yeah, and so the black and blue one, it's not even the fact that it's, I have my own issues with the use of like the anthracite and the black as a prominent color. That's not even my issue with that logo. It's that from any amount of distance, you cannot tell what is going on there. It looks like a blue and black smudge.
Remember they put it on the helmets and stuff, and like you couldn't tell on TV what that was.
Also, you're supposed to have a logo and a word mark, and not both at the same time. Like there's a place for one and a place for the other, and that's what branding is. And like there's a standard way to do it, and there's a reason it's become a standard. And going away from a standard sometimes is a good idea, but in stuff like this, like it's tried and true, and like just do it. And we've done it now, so I definitely appreciate where we've gone, where we've gotten to. But
I love the
Panther
head.
Wonderful.
I love it. It's
I
fantastic.
know, and I know some people say it's a little busy. Because it's like it's hard. Like you couldn't just draw. I think we've talked about that on the podcast. Where like you couldn't draw that. I couldn't draw
it.
I can draw the outline. Can I do it? I every once in a while when I'm sitting there on a meeting or whatever, I can do the outline and then I get the jaw and maybe the eyes, and then it just starts to fall to pieces. Not that I'm a good drawer, anyways. I would I can find one of my renditions of my notebook, I'd show it to you, but it's not good.
But it's simple enough that you might not be able to just like scribble it out, but you could have a stencil, like a real easy stencil.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That wouldn't be like complicated or tough to do. You just like slap it on something, spray paint on, you got a Panther
and
logo.
To those that say that Georgia State never actually does anything, they actually modified the Panther head logo to be easier to do things like that. There's a couple of I guess the best way to describe it, my wife just went upstairs, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. But the
style guide,
not the style guide, but like some of the thicknesses of the lines and the way the lines connected with each other, they kind of touched them up so that when it goes into a transfer, it comes through better. So they actually did make a minor change to it. So Georgia State does do things from time to time.
When they pay someone to do
they show up and they do stuff.
Wait. So we paid someone to do this, right?
I don't know. It may have just been somebody like pulled up Microsoft Paint and just added
like Read World,
some squares to it.
I do have to say though, our logo, we took a huge step up in logos overall. I don't know what that was, but we're going to continue. We took a huge step up. We're like just normal P5 logo range. Like all our other logos were kind of trash. Let's be honest. They weren't very good.
I do. Well, it's a sentimental connection to like what I call the Chester Cheetah Panther head. That side profile, which was more purple than I think it was blue. But that's just because that was the logo that when I went to school. But even then, when I looked at it, I thought about it from an athletics side of things. And I'm like,
what are we?
It's kind of rinky dink and everything. But now, again, the nostalgia value for you, like when we announced football and we switched from that Chester Cheetah side profile thing to the push-up Panther, I was like, that should have been the signal that we were not going to take football seriously.
This is like a half-assed iteration away from Chester Cheetah.
I was like, is this who we are now? This is what we have. I got
Zool Panther,
the dogs, Zool, Gozer.
You know what though? I felt like that helped. When we were like Gozer the Gozerian, whatever, like that was actually selling it, like upselling it. You're like, come on, man, guys, it's Ghostbusters. It's cool, right? Like
that was one of those things. Like it just made you feel better about yourself. It's like
that.
Yeah. Like it wasn't actually. It didn't make the logo any better. It just made you feel less bad about it.
Literally, you probably found out we did it on like Fiverr or something.
Probably so. Based off of the stuff I've put on Fiverr to try to get help with, that probably it may
Panther, Ghostbusters, Zool, make it something.
Make it happen.
But what is cool about it though was that Panther head was sitting inside of that logo the entire time, and they
hiding.
And then just somebody one day just posted the Panther head logo without the rest of the body on it. And we're just kind of like, oh, wow, I never noticed that before. It was so smudgy and ugly. But
how do we get rid of the rest of it?
So, I did not expect us to have a 20-minute conversation about logos, but off-season breeds
+1
logo discussions. Yeah, we'll do it again next week too.
We're gonna have it next week after, pretty much every week here on out until we get to Rhode Island. So buckle in.
Yeah, that Rhode Island. So we kind of touched on a little bit that Rhode Island tailgate. I'm not expecting a lot out of.
I was thinking like, since it's a weird tailgate situation, the wings idea, bring your favorite wings from your favorite wings joint would be kind of fun. It's easy. Like you don't have to prep a whole lot. We know it's a Thursday
Yeah,
night
yeah,
game.
because Ryan's gonna stop by Publix on his walk over to the stadium.
Oh,
Tim, come
you're
on,
getting those Publix wings. Just trust me. It's happening.
I know. You don't have to
This
tell me. I
is
know what I'm
made
getting.
for Ryan.
Should we do a wing contest where we don't tell anybody where the
no
wings came from, and then
No supermarkets.
No.
I'm kidding. You bring Publix wings.
But I mean, a wing contest would be great, and we could bring a couple different flavors. That'd be fun.
but like
No names
make it,
though. Yeah.
but make it where it's
Wine.
not. Yeah, do our own like best of Atlanta wing series where everybody brings, 24 wings or something, 50 wings, whatever we want to do, from their favorite restaurant.
But could I just smoke some wings and bring them?
Or
You
grocery?
could call it Ryan's barbecue.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be. They would
Ryan's
not
Wing
be.
Factory.
They would not be eligible for the contest.
Well, wings are available to all my friends. If they just want to call up and be like, "Hey, can I come over and you smoke some wings?" I'd be like, "Yeah, that sounds great."
Well, I think you're going against the idea we were talking about.
I'm not going against the idea. I'm
He's
talking about smoking wings at the
he's
tailgate.
a-
I was
adapting
trying
guy.
to set up a contest where we could vote out Publix as having the worst wings in all Atlanta.
I think Ryan sensed that.
Oh no, that wasn't. No. I like my wings the best.
No. We can do a wing contest.
I think it'd be fun. I don't know. We got plenty of time to think about it, but it would be fun to do something easy for the first tailgate since it's a 7 p.m. game.
The only thing I would say about easy for that is we're already talking about trying to get people down there after work because I'm assuming the two of you guys are taking the day off. I've already have it scheduled off for me. I've had it scheduled off ever since it was announced by 4 or 5 years ago to be, and then I have that Friday off as well.
Just always perpetual, right?
I mean, it's if I have a reason to take a Thursday off, I don't know why I'm not taking Friday off as well. Like, why do I want to like semi enjoy my Thursday off knowing that I've got to wake up on Friday to go to work?
That's a good point.
Well, and what you did with your Thursday probably means that you're not going to want to work on Friday. You're going to need that day.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I already put in minimum effort on Fridays, but I put in minimum effort every day. It's just minimum on Friday. Oh, my hat's erect now, guys.
Fluffing complete.
She's been fluffing it this whole time.
Wow.
She's fluffed it to appropriate.
It's got to be
stature.
fully erect by now.
Nice. You've kept it together, man.
I'm pretty impressed.
Oh, we got a big thing here.
Is it like starch or something?
For everyone listening, David is putting on an
great.
American top hat of sorts, and it is fully erect.
This is good. But basically, if you looked at what it was
Erect
like
for
before,
America.
It was Hugh Hefner before I had Viagra before, and now it's Hugh Hefner after Viagra. So we've had some very potty mouth talk this evening.
We're gonna get banned on Apple, Spotify. We'll just
We haven't said anything.
We've not used the curse words, so we're good.
No, your hat got fluffed. It's fine. That's not even that bad. Guys.
Anyone can fluff a hat.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that you were getting fluffed this whole time.
A fluff's a fluff. It doesn't matter. All right. Let's talk about a little bit more Georgia State stuff. A little bit. There was. We get some power rankings that came out, and I'm only bringing this up because for two reasons.
Petty.
Petty for the pettiness. Actually, it's one reason. It's just one reason. Part A and part B. Pettiness is we were ranked 9th in the Sun Belt Power Rankings across the entire conference because it makes sense because you can't be ranked 9th in a 7-team division. But if you could, the Trash Down South would find a way to do it as they come in 12th place in the power rankings, which I'll be completely honest. I posted this on Facebook when I saw this posted out there was I'm surprised that we're actually as high as we are, but the fact that we're over TDS, it holds water.
Smells right.
Yeah, right.
Who's beneath them? Oh, probably ULM.
Well, are you not looking at the screen? ULM and ODU.
I don't have it up. No.
It's right on our screen.
David has it up.
No, I'm not looking at
Okay,
it.
hey, wait,
Ooh.
Ryan. You know, my last call stuff was several minutes ago. I'm fine now. No, yeah, we got they have
It took a second, but I got there.
TDS comes in, which would be last in the entire, or in the East Division, with ODU is I'm an idiot. So, did you hear that gunfire outside of my house? That just happened.
It's July 4th ish.
It's live shooting on.
No, that was a horizontal sound, not a vertical sound. So,
I mean, that is the game we all play in Atlanta, right? It's like,
I can't have anywhere, any place.
I'm probably I'm surrounded by cement pillars here. This is probably the safest place in my house for being in Atlanta. No, anyhow, Old Dominion comes in what would be last in the East at 13th, Monroe being behind them, but yeah, Trash Down South at 12th, and we would be next to last. No, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. 9th. We're 9th. Y'all say something about this.
Are you looking at it? Is the bigger question. I'm not so sure anymore.
I'm forgetting which schools are in which division.
What
Who the hell is that
what
team?
Video do you have up? That's what I want to know.
Troy.
Who?
Troy.
You got me, Ryan. Troy State. You got me.
I gotta correct him. It's an interesting ranking with Jamie
And it's
down
not
at 7.
It's not Big Game Boomer posting it, so you know that at least some thought was put into it. At least an ounce of thought was put into this.
No, but really, Troy and South Alabama in the first 2 spots is pretty weird. Like Troy, I think has been, like I say, who because like they're very quietly good-ish, you know, like for the conference. They don't typically come out as number 1, but they're always a solid team that is scary to play. And but South Alabama is not. They are not that. They have rarely been super good, and to have them up there as number 2 in front of Appy, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
I mean, Troy and South Alabama were battling out for first in the West last year.
In the West, yeah, but I think the funny thing is we made fun of the West in this conference was that it was the East was full, and then you had the West was like Lafayette and everyone else just trying to beat them, and then they lose their head coach, and Troy came out of nowhere and everything. But now to even see that App only comes in as third best in the conference,
they've come off a little bit. I mean, they're not what they used to be. They were beatable last year.
They've been beatable every year.
That's true.
We
find ways.
They've beat the snot out of us several times, but we've held it a lot closer than it should be a lot of times. Oh, another horizontal explosion. But this does not jive with what the odds that came out that somebody posted from some sports book where they have Coastal Carolina as
that's just
most likely to win.
Loving, that's all.
Yeah, but the thing is, I am more likely to believe someone that's posting Vegas odds than someone who's just posting like power rankings, because this one is what they're taking the money on.
Sure.
Like they're and this is I guess this is not power rankings that we're looking at right now. This is odds to win the East, and not always the best team wins.
Well,
wins the matchup,
one of them is like a editor's office or a single writer coming up with what they think, and it's going to be very subjective based on what they've seen and what they know and all this other stuff. This is sort of democratized, and it's just a whole bunch of bets coming in that's just telling them what they think everyone is going to do, and they're very accurate because of it, because it all like narrows into what the general answer is actually going to be.
General consensus, right. Sure. My guess is that
I would say that the bets coming in for Georgia Southern instead of Georgia State doesn't make any sense to me. I'm confused.
Well, I was betting for PFF that they just had Chat GPT rank the teams, and it got our 2 schools mixed up.
Oh,
like humans do.
Well, wait, David, have you done that? Have you got? I mean, you send us Chat GPT stuff sometimes.
Chat GPT rank the Sun Belt.
Give me Sun Belt power rankings.
They have, I believe, Chat GPT is only updated through 2021 data.
No,
horse shit.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get James Madison or any of the newbies in there, so it's not worth it.
Well, ask him what the power ranking for the 2022 season's going to be, and see how accurate it is.
That would be kind of fun. Someone write that down. We should do it.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Don't tease
Yeah,
him.
I know. David's like doing it right now.
He's like,
that's
really
totally
cool.
inappropriate.
Ryan, seriously, what is it with you and talking about my love life right now? I mean, I know I kind of brought it up, but
you kind of did. Yeah, I was thinking while David's getting it off with ChatGPT.
Dave, come on, Tim.
Whoa.
What? He's not?
No, it was just following the same joke.
He's Southern's got to be.
He's getting off.
Southern's got to be pissed with Texas State and then Arkansas State ahead of them. Arkansas State was, I mean, you could argue in the realm of Old Dominion and, well, frankly, us last year as far as records go, and they're still above Southern. So
yeah, but TDS fans are delusional, and they were going to be mad no matter what if they weren't number one. They were going to be like, "What disrespect? We're coming out of our funk and blah blah blah." Like,
got a new quarterback.
They'd be like, "We drank so much drainage water. We're going to be so good. We're all jacked on Drano water." Drano? I don't know.
Drano water?
They gotta
I don't know, man.
They gotta be careful in that creek, right? It's got those forever chemicals in it, doesn't it?
Forever chemicals.
So I do have ChatGPT's power rankings of the Sun Belt Conference, and it acknowledges that this information is cut off in 2021, and it has Appalachian State is number 1, and Lafayette is number 2.
Definitely fair.
We're all the way down at 8, and that other school we're not talking about is ranked ahead of us.
All right, well, ChatGPT doesn't know what it's talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah, what a stupid piece of software.
Didn't we beat TDS in 2021? I feel like we beat them all the time, so I can't remember which years we did not do it. It's only like
clearly
times.
It doesn't work. We don't have to prove it. But
Exactly. Well, this is just a proof. This is proof of the TDS bias of ChatGPT. Oh no, that means it would have been written by people from there, and we know that no one from TDS would be able to contribute to AI. So, all right, on we move. Do we move?
Where are we on to?
42 minutes. Let's see. Did you guys see the FBS like rule changes? Like not game rules, but like to be qualified as FBS, NCAA is recommending some new changes. None of them are voted on, so it's all just up in the air. But they had some new rules, and it's mostly about scholarships and the number of sports being played, which 16 sports, which we play 16 sports, so that's fine there. And I think the scholarship stuff is fine. But the really interesting thing in it was apparently the NCAA charges a fee to FCS teams to move to transition to FBS of $5,000, which I feel like is like that. I feel like that's in that like in that bill, the Bill of Rights, where there's like, to challenge something with the government, there's like a $20 fee, and no one wants to address it because it's the Bill of Rights. But yeah, this would change it from $5,000 to transition to $5 million, and I think this is NCAA's way of saying, Conference USA, stop promoting teams because.
We're cutting off your spigot.
You're diluting the FBS product right now.
Well, the whole purpose, people talk about how it's like the good versus the bad, but it's about the haves and the have-nots. It's about budgets. Like the initial split was on budgetary lines, not on like we're the best and these people are the worst. It was like we have money and we want to spend it, and they are holding us back from doing what we want to do. We want to spend all this freaking money. We can do better, and they're dragging us down.
Yeah, this would actually replace the existing rules for be qualified for FBS, which includes the 15,000 attendance to football games on a rolling 2-year average.
Away?
That would go away, which
Kennesaw would like that.
Kennesaw State needs, because if they packed their house by 150%, they'd still be underqualified for being qualified. But yeah, no, it was kind of interesting to take a look at it. That one thing just jumped out the most to me about the 5 million. It wouldn't go into effect until 2027.
So they could still fail the attendance requirement. They'll get a waiver, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
The thing is everybody wants attendance. You don't have to set that as a requirement. Like there's an incentive to get attendance, and in that it's money, right?
It's all about money is what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm saying. So like
All comes down to it.
it's not like when you make a requirement, then that's like even more incentive for you to get there. I mean, you're already trying to get as many butts into seats as you can.
Yep.
Sure.
So who cares if that's a requirement? That doesn't make any sense.
So what you're saying is Kennesaw should just keep their stadium as is. They don't need to
I don't give a shit about Kennesaw.
Ooh. That sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
I just really don't. I really don't. Like, I barely know what the stadium looks like. I'm surprised they've moved up the way that they've moved up. Doesn't make very much sense to me, but it shouldn't make very much sense to me because I don't know very much about them.
Well, Kennesaw State was a subject of just the times of realignment. Like, they were not being considered by an FBS team or by an FBS conference to move up. They were not on that list at all. It's when Texas and Oklahoma move and impacted everything else, and now Conference USA literally needed teams to just continue being a conference, and they weren't even the first team on the list. Like, so with the realignment that went into effect this new athletic year, you have Sam Houston and
Jack State.
Sam Houston and Jack State have been promoted. They were promoted already in the Conference USA, and still not enough that Kennesaw will join next year. Mm-hmm. They're an afterthought. They do seem to have an athletic department that gives more of an interest in competition than we do, that Georgia State does.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But unless they like, knock it out of the park with a head coaching hire, I don't know if they'll be able to like really compete at that level. And I say this with all the humility of being a fan of Georgia State. We've written the book on how to not start an FBS program, but I think that our advantages are so far greater than Kennesaw State. And with Coach Elliott at the helm, I still take Georgia State over Kennesaw State any day of the week, hands down.
I think we've proven it's not easy to do this, right? I mean, you've seen other teams move up and be fantastic. Some teams get like right in the middle of moving up. We proved that it can be really hard too, right? You don't do things the right way. You have an unbalanced roster. You don't fundraise enough. You don't have enough butts in the seats. It's tough, right? And then you want people to come watch the subpar product, and it's hard to get those casual fans to get excited. I mean, we all know, I'm sure, David, you've invited your friends, and I've had friends come once, and we lose, and then it's like it's hard to get them to come again because they're not interested in watching us lose.
Yeah, I've convinced a number of friends, Georgia State alums, to buy season tickets and come out to games, and then we have one of our after having a good season, and then we obviously follow that up with having a poor season out of the box, and now it's like, how do I get them to come back? So, but
we get drunk.
Well, so all my drunk friends already come. It's my my friends that have a drink or two because they have to drive. Those are the ones that don't want to stick around.
They know what they're watching. They know what they're watching.
You're missing the best part of this.
I think this is why Georgia State targets breweries for the spring tours. Like, all right, we've acknowledged the only people that want to come to Georgia State games are alcoholics. So let's do these events at breweries, and we have a better shot at getting them to sign up for some season tickets. Somebody that's a sober person.
We soothe ourselves with alcohol.
They're not.
What you're trying to
we're not. Yeah, we're not setting up at the Piedmont Park on a Tuesday afternoon.
Hey, now you got me excited. I hope the stadium has some different beer choices this year. I don't know. Hope and beyond hope.
Whoa. So Goose Island and that rando beer that Ryan and I drink is not good enough for you?
The Russian roulette beer, you never know what it's going to be.
Exactly.
It might be 2 years old, might be a year old. You don't know. No one's going to tell you either. The special beer that they had, whatever it was.
There was that lager or pilsner or something that was like the closest thing to an award-winning beer that Ryan could find in the stadium, and we'd never heard of it before. It had like Russian lettering on it, or something like that.
Yeah. It's at the liquor store here, over by Daddy D's, that liquor store that's over there. They usually have it on sale for less than PPR, but I don't do it. I'm like, come on, guys. I'm
you
already
have
buying a
standards.
30-pack for $24. Like I don't need a better deal.
You might not even be drinking beer at that point. Who knows, right?
Yes, I liked that beer, but I made some mistakes drinking it. I mean, that was a good price and definitely a drinkable beer because I drank a lot of it.
Better when cold.
Better when cold for sure. You got it. That's why you got to down it fast and get another one.
This is more of a talk for a last call, not because it's perverse, but because we're already 50 minutes
50
in.
minutes
and,
in,
Yeah.
And it's just about drinking beer. But I did the buddy of mine ran the official beer mile with the national beer mile races across the country. They would travel around and it was a 1 mile race and you had to chug 4 beer in the middle of it, or like every quarter mile. Like you chugged a beer before you started, and then you chug a beer every quarter mile in.
Oh.
And he did it. And he said that the official rules of a beer mile that was established by arbitrary people with an arbitrary goal in mind said that it had to be a certain alcohol percentage and warm. So we had warm King of Beers, Budweisers, and chug it. And I'm like, I'm not a beer chugger, but cold is
cold.
Oh man!
Like why warm? I know arbitrary.
Yeah.
So like you can't ask why, but like
yeah.
ugh.
Oh man, it was miserable.
It's
Like
not supposed to be a punishment. It's supposed to be fun.
exactly. So we some friends
you
of mine.
drank 4 warm beers?
So what I was actually a coworker of mine that set the whole thing up. He was in a running club, and we'd go to Piedmont Park, and we would stash the active oval circle. The racetrack around there is a half mile, I think.
Gravel,
So we had 2 coolers. We put on opposite ends, stashing bushes, and we would organize our own beer mile runs in the active oval.
Cold beer.
And I've done it. I've done several beer miles now, which I'm going to do a beer 10.2 mile, or what is it? I'm at 6.2 mile. I'm going to do a beer 6.2 mile tomorrow. But it's that first beer. That first beer puts all the gas into your stomach.
It's
and
a
you're like,
one too.
I'm either going to puke or burp, but either way, when I'm done, I'll be good. And if you can get to burp instead of puke, sure enough, you let out the largest belch in your life, and you run that quarter mile, you chug a beer, you run that quarter mile, you chug a beer. It's a good time. I actually
how many people fall off puking?
Well, the official rules say if you do it, you've got to run an additional quarter mile to be qualified for time.
Drink more beer
with more beer.
But I did the race. The first time I ever did a beer mile was again, my coworker organized the whole thing, and I beat only one person. Now, this was a runners club. So these people ran all the time, and I was several months out of just being able to walk again after having shattered my knee. And so all the people there made fun of him, like, you lost to the broke leg dude. I was like, yeah, but I beat him on the drinking of beer way better.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's it. We can call this a wrap on the episode. We'll go to last call and talk about whatever else.
We got some more crap on last call, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of other things we can talk about. Anyhow, we can find last call on our Patreon page, patreon.com/State of Atlanta. It is freely available on Friday mornings. You get it early access if you are a member. You also get access to our private group chat, discounts on merchandise, and we always try to find out other things we can do for our Patreon. I'd be able to watch the live stream on every Tuesday night. Well, this is a Monday night. Watch last call live stream as well. So please consider joining, helping us build the program. So thanks for listening, and say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.